I'm on the Apple app right now seeing if there's any phones available for pickup today. Hey guys, it's Gabby. What is up? Welcome back to the vlogs. Today is iPhone release day, and very last minute I decided to order myself a new iPhone 16 Pro Max this morning, and we're actually on our way to the Apple store to pick it up right now. They had some available at my local Apple store, and the pickup window was like actually in an hour, so I'm like, I have to leave right now. So we're actually starting this vlog in the car, but I wanted to bring you guys along with me to go pick it up and then do an unboxing with you, of course, and a side-by-side comparison between the new iPhone 16 Pro Max and the iPhone 14 Pro Max. So if you're deciding if you should upgrade or not, then hopefully this video is helpful. But I'm super excited to go pick it up and unbox it with you guys, so let's go. My first look at the new iPhone 16s. This is the 16 Plus versus the 16 in the ultramarine color. This one is so pretty. I love the back and texture to this. It has a little camera button on the side. You just click that and it opens the camera. And then we can zoom. So much fun. I'm so excited to get home and play with these settings. Okay, and here's the white. This is the 16 and the 16 Plus. Okay, here's the desert titanium color. It is definitely more of a rose goldy pink, but I think it's really pretty. I like it. Okay, and here's the iPhone I got, the 16 Pro Max in white. I'm so excited. I think it looks so beautiful. Alright, we have the iPhone secured. It was pretty busy in there. Of course, it's Apple launch day. So I tried to get as much footage as possible. Hopefully I got enough and it turned out okay, you guys, but let's go home and do an unboxing. We are back with the brand new iPhone 16 Pro Max in white titanium. I don't know what it is about Apple packaging, but it's just so satisfying. I love this. Let's go ahead and unbox this. Alright, so here we go, unboxing the iPhone for the first time. Oh my gosh, this is so pretty. I love how clean the white looks on this. I always love a new iPhone. Probably the cleanest it'll ever be, obviously coming out of the box. Okay, also in the box we do have the little charging cable. This is actually different. They wrapped the cord in an oval this year instead of in a circle. And since I'm in Canada, we actually still have SIM cards, so it does come with the little pin as well here, but that's pretty minor. So we have one charging cord, which is good because I don't have any USB-C since my iPhone 14 Pro Max is still a lightning cable. And then of course we have the world's tiniest little pamphlet manual here that I'm not even sure who actually reads that, but there's also no Apple stickers in the box this year, which I'm okay with. I never use the Apple stickers anyways, but if you really like the Apple stickers, unfortunately there's none in here this year. But let's go ahead and take this little sticker off. Okay, I'm currently trying to set up this phone from this phone, but it's not working at the moment, and I'm not sure why, because I do have iOS 11 or later and Bluetooth is enabled, So, okay, it just prompted me and now it's stuck in the select your region. And let's try it again. Okay, while the data is transferring, I just wanted to go over some of the physical differences of the phone, although there's not that many. So this is the 14 Pro Max in deep purple. Now this one you can definitely see the camera bezels here are a lot darker, which personally I didn't really like on this phone in particular. Whereas the white, it looks seamless, it looks clean. I really like the look of that. There is still obviously a little glass edge here where the camera lenses are, but I feel like it looks a lot more clean. In terms of size, they are pretty similar in size. The iPhone 16 Pro Max is slightly bigger, but not in a drastic difference. Like when I'm holding them, they pretty much feel the same. The iPhone 16 Pro Max is a little bit lighter, but I'm not sure if that's because it has more rounded edges. It feels nicer in the hand than this one because really the actual weight of them is not that big of a difference. But this one definitely feels a lot more blocky, a lot more chunky because it doesn't have those rounded edges. It definitely has a good weight to them. Either way, I think that these ones are pretty similar. The other difference is obviously this one still has the physical ring switch on the side, where this one now has the action button like I mentioned. You can set the action button to do that. So I'm super excited to kind of set that up and play with it. And then the iPhone 16s do have the new camera button, and that is pretty much all for the differences other than the bottom. This is now USB-C, where the iPhone 14 Pro Max was the last model with the lightning cord. I'm not sure how much of a inconvenience this is going to be switching from everything in lightning to USB-C, but hopefully it goes pretty smoothly. So we have about 11 minutes left until the iPhone is set up, and then I'm going to take you through all of the other camera features and other features that this phone has. Okay, you guys, we've run into our first little issue. I cannot get my SIM card to transfer because this one says it only accepts eSIM, which is weird because this one still has a SIM card reader. So I'm not really sure what's going on here, and I'm trying to troubleshoot this with my carrier. So that is definitely a downside. I feel like if you're already on eSIM, then it won't take too long to transfer over, but I don't really know how to set things up. I don't really know how to use eSIM. Definitely trying to figure that out right now, but that's definitely a downside, and it's taking longer to kind of set up this phone. Okay, so here are all the different modes you could put onto your little action button. Of course, I'm probably gonna choose the ring switch, but you can put on do not disturb. The camera, which I feel like is kind of dumb to put now because you have obviously the dedicated camera button for it. You can do the little flashlight, voice memo, Shazam. You can do translate and the magnifier. But of course, I think the most use I'd get out of it is the silent mode. So we're going to change that to silent mode. And now it's walking me through the new camera button.
The colors of the sky fade with the setting sun.
The colors of this.
The colors of this.
The colors of this.
The colors of this.
Siri, how's the weather? Hey Siri, send a message. Hey Siri, get me directions. Hey Siri, get directions home. Siri, play some music. Siri's ready. Okay, transferring. So exciting. This is probably gonna take a minute, so we're gonna take a quick break while I look on Amazon for some phone cases because I currently have nothing. All right, looks like the new phone is finally done setting up. So here we go. Restore is completed. Woohoo! So it looks like all of my apps are still loading in, which is all right, but I'm excited to go through and rearrange and test out everything. This definitely looks bigger. Like the screen definitely looks bigger in comparison to this phone. So let me put it on the same screen. I mean, again, the differences are pretty minimal, but this one definitely has a thicker bezel around. This one is definitely thinner. It looks bigger, like when I'm holding it here, it actually does look bigger, which I kind of like because again, I edit a lot on my phone, and so I feel like having a bigger screen is advantageous for me personally. For day-to-day, I don't know, I probably would actually get a smaller phone, but for editing purposes, I love having the larger screen size. So of course, let's jump right into the camera and check out the differences. Now, the main difference, I think, right off the start is obviously this one has 5x zoom, where this one only has 3x zoom. So I do like that option. I'm going to flip the camera around so you guys can see what I'm looking at here. Okay, so here we are, side by side camera tests of the two iPhones. I feel like to the naked eye, you can't see a ton of difference or screen within screen, but when I'm looking at the phones here, I definitely can see a little bit of a difference. So here is 3 times zoom on this one and 5 times zoom. Whoa, 2 times versus 5 times. So I guess they don't have like a button for 3 times. I do feel like the 16 Pro Max definitely is pulling a little bit more clear, especially at that 5 times. Wow. Versus 3, and then when I make this 5, okay, here's both at 5 times. You can kind of see the 14 glitches a little bit, where the 16 looks a lot more smooth, and this one looks a lot more clear. So I'm going to put these side by side for you guys too on the screen so you can kind of see. Okay, now let's do a camera quality test. So I'm filming on both phones. I feel like they're pretty much in the same position. So we have the iPhone 16 and then the iPhone 14. I'm going to move my hand away from the microphone so you can get a really good kind of test for sound. And I'm holding the iPhone 14 with just my hand, so that's why it is really hard to hold and it's a little bit more shaky. But let's test the audio on the iPhone 14. So this is the onboard audio. Obviously no other microphone or anything is being used. And then I'm going to switch over to the iPhone 16, and then this is the audio on the iPhone 16. I know you can also edit the audio in post-production, which is really cool, and a feature that again I really liked about the iPhone 16 Pro Max is now you can kind of change the audio for different environments, which I think would be a really great factor because I do sometimes vlog on my iPhone 16. So you guys let me know which one you think sounds better. I will leave the audio completely untouched as well so you can hear the true sound of each of the microphones. Now I am in a pretty empty room, so you're gonna hear a lot of an echo, but I'm also gonna test the kind of features of the iPhone 16, of the spatial audio and things like that. So this is kind of the camera test. I feel like the iPhone 16 does look a lot nicer in terms of like color, where the iPhone 14 doesn't have as great of color grading to it, but I feel like both are a really good phone. Again, this is the front camera, so let's switch to the back camera. Okay, and here is the back camera on the 16 and 14 Pro Maxes. Again, I am holding the 14 with my hand, so it might be a little bit more shaky than the 16, but hopefully it's not too bad, so you guys can still see the quality difference if there is one. We're also going to test the audio for the iPhone 14 Pro Max right now, and then I'm going to switch over to the iPhone 16 Pro Max. So you guys let me know if you can hear an audible difference for the sound and how does the quality look. I'm really hoping that the color grading at least is more of a difference because I really hate color grading in post, and I find if it's already kind of fixed in production, then I feel like that saves me one step. But you guys let me know which one looks better. Okay, the one feature I did really like the iPhone 16 Pro Max for is this new photographic styles. So now I feel like you have a lot more control within the photography and camera settings to kind of get the look you're going for with this like little control pad versus the 14 Pro Max. I feel like the preset filters you didn't have as much control with. Like, yes, you can change like the cool and warm, but I feel like it didn't really make a huge difference. It didn't really hit. So I'm really hoping that this one proves to be much better. So they have a lot more like different photographic styles, I feel like. And then again, you can kind of control that a little bit more in here. So I love, 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 love that. That's something I kind of gravitated towards me purchasing the new iPhone. So I really love that feature of it. Another big feature with the camera is now we can record in 120 frames per second, which technically only is compatible with Mac OS Sierra or higher. So something to note that not all of the rates will be able to be shown on all devices, but I think that this is really, really cool. I'm not sure how much I'll be using that feature just because it is going to take up a lot more storage, and I feel like it might not be useful for everyday things, but I think filming a couple things in that 120 frames per second might be kind of useful and fun. And then there's a lot more camera settings in this one, so I'm definitely gonna have to go through and kind of figure out what this exactly all means and which is the best setting for the cameras and what I want to use it for. But again, I feel like that's always the biggest upgrade is the cameras. You know, it's still a really good phone, a really good camera, but this one just has a little bit more customizability, which is great if you are a content creator. All right, I know iOS 18 changed the Photos app and a lot of people are having mixed feelings on it. Apparently, if you scroll all the way down to the bottom and you go customize and reorder, then you can uncheck all of these items. And I think you leave utilities and albums, and that will basically turn it back into what it looked like prior. It definitely looks different, like side by side with the photos in the previous iOS, but I definitely think it's something that we will get used to, and it's not going to be the end of the world kind of thing, but definitely very interesting. And I know with iOS 18, you can now move your apps pretty much anywhere you want in the screen, which yes, technically Samsung has done that before, but it is new to Apple and it is kind of fun to have more customization for your home screen. So I can't wait to go and play around with that. I'm moving some around here, so definitely something to play around with currently, and something I'm looking forward to kind of designing my own look and feel to the iPhone a little bit more than, you know, just basic rows. So the other thing with the iPhone and iOS 18 is now you can edit your home screen and you can edit the widgets. So if you hit the customize, then you can do kind of the light or the dark look or the monochromatic look, and you can kind of change the colors of the widgets, which is kind of fun. Personally, I think I still like the light mode the best. It looks more clean, but I do like this dark mode too to kind of change it up. And then you can also make them larger or smaller as well, which is really cool. So I think I'm going to be sticking with the basic kind of look to the iPhone. I did change the background. I feel like that is like the #1 thing when I get a new phone is changing the background so it looks new and fresh. But here's the look at the new iPhone 16 Pro Max and some of the features that it comes with. Of course, the biggest feature for the iPhone 16 is going to be Apple Intelligence. Now, I do believe Apple Intelligence is supposed to be available on the 15 Pro and Pro Max, but the 14 Pro Max does not make that cut. I don't really think Apple Intelligence would make it or break it for me. Mostly I'm here for the camera, the better battery life, but I think Apple Intelligence will be a nice added feature when it does roll out. So unfortunately, I can't attest to that today when I'm filming this video, but stay tuned. I'm sure there'll be lots of reviews on Apple Intelligence, and I'll be super curious to test it out when it rolls out in October. Now, I'm not the biggest tech person. There's lots of tech videos out there if you want to know all the ins and outs of the features of these phones, but hopefully if you are deciding between upgrading or not from your 14 Pro Max or 14 or lower, then hopefully this video is helpful and shows you some of the new features that comes on the 16 Pro Max. Personally, I think this is worth the upgrade for me because again, I am a content creator, so I spend a lot of time on my phone, so the bigger battery life and the new camera features I think will be worth it for me in the long run. But stay tuned. If you guys want me to give you an update on how I'm liking the iPhone 16 Pro Max and all of its features, then leave me a comment down below and be sure to like this video. But now I need to jump on Amazon and find a case and a screen protector for this because I was not willing to pay Apple's prices for a basic phone case. I definitely need something to protect this, but I really love the feel of this iPhone, the look of this iPhone, and so far it's functioning great. Of course, there's a lot of like other smaller features and things that are on here that I will be figuring out and learning, especially with the new iOS. Technically, iOS 18 is supported on the old iPhone 14 Pro Maxes and the 14s. I feel like this is definitely a good upgrade, but maybe not necessarily a needed upgrade. I think this phone will still last a good, decent amount of time, but I am super happy with this one. I like it more now that it is in my hands and I'm able to kind of play with it and feel it and kind of check it out for myself. I'm still keeping my iPhone 14 around, probably using it as a vlog camera and my TikTok live camera as well for my live stream. You guys let me know down below in the comments, do you think the iPhone 16 Pro is worth the upgrade, or are you sticking with your old iPhone model, and which model is it? But thanks for coming along with me to pick up my iPhone and unbox it with me and give it a little test between the 14 Pro Max and the new 16. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it helpful. If you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more content, and I'll see you very soon. Bye guys!